Welcome to video 4 of Sage 50 Peachtree Accounting, putting in transactions. The first kind of transaction that we will learn how to put in is making a general journal entry. A general journal entry. We all know that we decide what to debit and what to credit, and we record all of the debits and credits in the journal. Now, in your basic accounting textbook, when you studied accounting, you waited until you finished making all of the journal entries, and then after you were finished, you posted those entries to the general ledger. It was at that point that you got the accumulated totals of each account in the general ledger, and when you had the final balance of every account in the general ledger, you made a report called the trial balance. The trial balance is simply a list of the names and ending balances of each account in our general ledger. Without a computer, this process took a long time. However, with Peachtree, Sage 50, all we have to do is open the general journal in one window, open the trial balance in a different window, and when we record a debit and credit in the general journal, the final results in the trial balance will change immediately. In fact, we did not do this when we used our textbook, but when we used our textbook, we had to wait until we had posted all of the transactions from the journal to be able to find out the ending balance of each general ledger account. But with the computer, as soon as we make a debit and credit in the journal, the final result in the trial balance changes immediately. From the main menu, click Reports, General Ledger, then click General Ledger Trial Balance. You may well notice that the trial balance right now is completely empty. It's blank. It's zero. Why? Because we have not entered any transactions. Now, from the main menu, click Tasks, General Journal Entry. General Journal Entry. And this opens the window that gives us the ability to record all of our debits and credits. You may notice that it says the month of November by default. It gives us November 1 automatically. This is because when we created the file, we chose November of 2014 to be our first month in our fiscal year for this example. Now, I will read the first transaction from Project 3A3 on page 113 of the Jeffrey Slater accounting book that we used in our class. The first transaction says, A. Glover invested $6,000 cash into the placement agency. That would be cash debit $6,000 and Glover capital credit $6,000. This is how you enter it. Click once into the top row in the field General Ledger Account and then let go of your mouse. You notice that the magnifying glass shows up. Then click on the magnifying glass and then we see a list of all of the General Ledger accounts that we put into the Chart of Accounts window when we set up the company in the previous video. Since the first account that is debit is cash, we will click on the row of cash, and account number 111 is in this row. We will then click Debit, and we will put $6,000. Don't put a comma, don't put a dollar sign, type in the characters, and in order to tell Peachtree that you're finished in this field, push the Tab key on the top left of your keyboard. Tab. You can keep pushing Tab until the cursor and the attention goes to the next row, and now the field of General Ledger Account on the second row has the magnifying glass, and when we click on it, we can see the choices for the credit account, and in this case it's A. Glover Capital. Now on the same row, we click in the field of credit, type in the same 6,000, and push Tab. If you look at the bottom, the total debits and total credits of this journal entry balance, and now we can save it. It is very simple to save any transaction. Go to the top and click Save. Now, our results in the trial balance should have changed. In the blink of an eye and the click of a mouse, these journal entries were posted to the general ledger accounts that you saw, and the accumulated totals were changed on the face of the trial balance. Let us reopen the trial balance and take a look. Do you remember where to click? Reports, General Ledger Trial Balance. And as you can see, cash is now a balance of $6,000 because it started at 0 when we made that debit. And capital is now a balance of $6,000 credit because that's what we put. Now before we go back to the window to enter the journal entry, let's quickly speak about the next transaction. The next transaction is also on November 1, bought equipment on account from Cinder Company. Okay, we all know, and by the way, the amount is $2,100. November 1 again, bought equipment on account from Cinder Company. The amount is $2,100. We all know that will be equipment debit, $2,100, and account payable credit, $2,100. Those accounts are not here because we have not used them yet. But once we make that debit and that credit, they will also show up here in our good friend, the trial balance. Do you remember where to click to open the window for the general journal entry? All transactions are from tasks. Tasks, general journal entry. Now, this particular transaction is also on November 1. But the way we choose the date is we click the calendar box and the current month is open in front of us in a calendar. We then click on the specific day and then Peachtree will write the date into the date box. Click in the account field, click on the eyeglass. We all agree that that was equipment, and in the row of equipment we're going to put a debit of $2,100. Push tab until the cursor moves to the next line. Click on the magnifying glass, and then of course it will be accounts payable credit, and again on the credit side for $2,100, and then we push tab. Now the total debits equal the total credits, and when I click save, the computer has automatically posted this transaction to the accounts, and the result on the trial balance should change automatically. Reports, General Ledger trial balance, and now notice the debit has gone to equipment, the credit has gone to account payable. These accounts are now added to the trial balance in the amount of the first transaction because the amount of the first transaction is the new balance in those accounts. The next transaction is on November 3rd, earned placement fees, which is revenue income, and we earn this from a customer who will not pay us until the future, and the amount is $2,000. We all know that this will be accounts receivable debit, $2,000, and placement fees earned, $2,000. Tasks, general journal entry. The date is November 3rd. Click once in the calendar, click on the 3rd. The debit account is accounts receivable for $2,000. And the credit account is placement fees earned, which is income, and that's the account credit, $2,000. Now, when we save this transaction, we can then go to reports to our general ledger section, open the general ledger trial balance, and notice that placement fees and account receivable have been added to the trial balance in the amount of the next transaction.